Hello everyone. Hi. I'm Yomin, and today I'm going to talk about something. You wanna know what something is? So, before I ask you, sorry, you didn't catch it. Okay. Okay. Before I talk about something, I want to ask this question. Are you awake? Are you guys awake right now? You're awake?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I haven't been awake in a long time.
I know that. I'm sorry. Okay, that is an interesting answer. And today I am going to talk about this. Woke. I just learned this concept and I think it's so timely that all people to know. So woke, Cambridge Learner's Dictionary defines woke as aware, especially of social problems such as racism and inequality. So I am going to show you 3 examples for not very woke thing. And I think we can learn from the failure, First is generalization. You can have a stereotype towards a group of people, but you don't want to have generalization towards others. For example, when I was young, I thought all Japanese people are short. Apparently, this is a super wrong. And maybe foreigners think that all Koreans love spicy food. Apparently, this is wrong because I hate spicy food. So here's another example. Little Taiwanese twin girls, they were on the Ellen show and they said something. I'm going to show you the video.
Sure.
And you can catch. You're going to have to listen and answer the question.
Okay.
Yes.
Trip to Los Angeles, what do you tell your friends in Taipei about Los Angeles? 我不像是在 LA， 为什么跟在台湾的朋友讲关于 LA？ 房子都矮矮的，然后都有花园，然后都布置得很漂亮。这里的东西都很慢，难怪这里的人都长得很高。So Lisa, the houses here are bigger and are shorter, and the gardens are really decorated. And you said that your serving is huge. That's why people are so tall over here. Yeah. Well. So have you tried something called a s'more? Do they have those in Taipei?
Okay.
Talking about the houses, right?
Yes. Have you catched what they did? Well, I'm going to tell you that they said they're having fun, and they talked about their trips in America, and they talked about all Americans are very tall. Apparently, I went to America, and this is a wrong concept, actually. Yes. So I think it's for children to say this kind of things. It's cute. But as an adult, you don't want to say this because it is a generalization.
Right.
Number 2 is racism. So in the 50s in America, they made a movie called Breakfast at Tiffany's. Well, I saw the movie and I didn't know first they had a racism, but after I researched, I found this. Do you see any problem here?
The actor is American?
Yes, exactly. Actually, the actor is a white man, and he wears yellow face and acts as a landlord, Japanese landlord. And this is super wrong in this age because first he wears yellow face, so he deprived for Asian Americans of acting, of for them to act. And second, he wears a yellow face. And if you see the movie, you will notice he acts really stupid and idiotic. So he made fun of Asian Americans or all Asians. So I think it's in the 50s, so we can understand a little bit, but now you cannot do this. And number 3 is cultural appropriation. I just learned this concept like last month, and I really wanted to introduce this concept to you. And Cambridge Learner's Dictionary defines, I love this dictionary, yes. And the act of taking or using things from a culture that is not your own, especially without showing that you understand or respect this culture. So, here's an example. Do you see any problem here? Yeah, it's not very clear.
Is that Aladdin the lamp?
Oh, I like your answer, but it's not quite right. Okay, this is an elephant sculpture from India.
Right.
Actually, this elephant is sacred god in India. And this is a music video from Blackpink. And Blackpink put the sacred sculpture on the floor. And it's offensive to Indian people because it's their own god and just on the floor. So they made a mistake and they didn't show respect to Indian people. So this is kind of cultural appropriation. Actually, I wanted to show more examples, but the time is limited, so let's move on. Okay. So I want to ask another question. How can we make things better? I'm sure that you have answers, right? Yes? But I'm going to talk about one of the answers. And I'm going to show another concept that is called politically correct. Its abbreviation is PC. So again, Cambridge Learner's Dictionary defines PC as avoiding language or behavior that any particular group of people might feel is unkind or offensive. I'm going to show you some examples. Some of them are not very realistic, but it's fun to look at. Yeah. Examples of politically correct terms. First, deaf. It's rude for someone to say you're deaf. So you can say hearing impairment. And vomiting apparently should be unplanned re-examination of recent food choices. Yes, this is unrealistic, but it's really fun. Yeah. And homeless could be outdoor urban dwellers. It's so much cooler than just saying homeless. Yes. An insult can be emotional rape. I think this is not
worse.
Yes.
Rape?
Yeah. Yes.
Much worse than
That's what I felt. So I don't want to say I am emotional raped.
Right.
You know? Yes. And poor can be economically marginalized and unemployed, economically inactive. Blacklist, of course, can be banned. And Merry Christmas, because there is also a holiday called Hanukkah in America, not in Korea. So you can say season's greetings instead of saying Merry Christmas. So far I talked about examples of not being woke, and I suggested another concept for solve this problem. And so I think it's important that you know about this concept because the society is moving forward. And since the society is moving forward, people in the society also have to move forward. So I think it's important, and we must stay woke. I thank you for listening, and no questions will be accepted. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So let me give you some information. So, well, Korea was the world capital of plastic surgery before pandemic. The industry was estimated to be worth $10.6 billion in 2020. Gangnam only, which is our country's largest plastic surgery apps, had about 2.6 million users in 2020. Despite the pandemic, a growing number of people, mostly women, have chosen plastic surgery. People thought that it would be the best timing to get it done now, because they can hide their treatment behind a mask. So some people claim that it's necessary to overcome their physical complex and to build up their confidence. Because in our society, women tend to be judged by their appearance. So they are more obsessed with their physical appearance. For example, at a job interview, the first thing the companies look at is photos attached to the resumes that other countries do not require. So according to the online job site, 62% of applicants drop out in evaluating their resumes because of their look or impression. And even there is an article that good-looking people get paid more salary according to the news. So those things contributed to environment in which people get judged on their look. Lookism is pervaded in our society. But you know what? There are so many side effects of plastic surgeries. Due to the obsession with appearance, women mistreat their bodies by having multiple surgeries. In extreme cases, some people who attempt to suicide after surgery. Although it's human nature to seek beauty, enhance their look, unrealistic expectations can lead to a vicious of endless surgery. So we need to think about the plastic surgery is worth to try. Thank you.
All right. That is totally true, yes. Before doing any plastic surgery, we have to think twice.
Today, I'm talking about punishments of cruelty to animals. I have some questions. Do you love animals?
Yes, I do.
I definitely love animals, especially cats and dogs. What would be just a punishment? I do believe that they deserve to spend some time in prison for that crime, but it never happened in Korea. I'm gonna talk about these sections. First, why? What is that problem? According to the law, they treat animals as objects. That means the name of a sin is property damages. Someone killed or hit the animal. The law treats animals as objects, so they suspend to pay a fine. Even though the criminal killed the animal, he was suspended to pay a fine of 3 million won. In this February, Congress revised the law, but it happened a lot of examples. In the case of cruel way of killing animals, a sentence of up to 2 years in prison or up to 20 million won. After law revision, in the case of cruel way of killing animals, a sentence of up to 3 years in prison or a fine of up to 30 million won. Well, after revising the law, there are a lot of cases of cruelty or killing. March 29th, a woman who put in the garbage bag a dog because she wanted to abandon it. March 24th, 6 cats were killed by someone on the street. March 7th, a man who running with a wrist tied to a cart of 80 km per hour. Eventually, the dog died. March 21st, a guy who pushed a cat down a third window sill. But you know what? The guy was a high school student. So, how was the punishment in Korea? A man who killed a dog, he was sentenced to pay a fine 3 million won. A woman who killed 2 cats, one cat died, one cat hurt its backbone. She was sentenced to pay a fine 1.5 million won. 2 elderly men who were roasting a live dog with a torch because they wanted to eat dog meat for the dog's first of summer. They were sentenced to pay a fine of 1 million won. A man who killed 600 street cats by putting them all in boiling water. He was given 10 months jail term but suspended for 2 years. A man who was running with a leash tied to a car. People called Devil's Echoes because the car's name was Echoes. It was innocent because he said, "I'm not on purpose." In his success for 4 years, 2016 to 2019. 2016 occurred is 304. 2019, 904. That is a treble by 2016. Arrest is 244. 2019 was 723. But imprisonment, 2 case, 1 case, 1 case, 0. But non-straight, 2019, 973. It is almost 1,000. Maybe now it's over than 1,000. Then compared with other countries. First, America. A man who drew his girlfriend's dog to death at balcony. He was sentenced to 3 years inside. A man who's running with a wrist tied to a truck. It is similar to devil's accuse, but he was sentenced to 10 years and 6 months inside. It was maximum penalty. Georgia, US. Someone leaves dog in the car alone a few hours. He can be sentenced to 6 months or pay a fine $1,000. England. Left to death without giving water and food. It was suspended to 18 weeks and no animal ownership. Left alone a car a few hours, suspended to pay a fine $3,500. German, you know what? German is the happiest country for animals. The welfare is very good. So left alone a car a few hours, suspended up to 3 years, and no animal ownership and impounded animals. Killed animal, suspended up to 3 years and no animal ownership. Abandoned. In Korea, it has a lot of cases in abandoned, but someone never happened to punishment. But in German, suspended to pay a fine of 25,000 euro. It is almost 32 million won. So, the heaviest penalty for animals abuse is currently a maximum fine of 3 to 5 million won, no jail term. To reduce cruelty to animals, the judge gave the defendant the maximum sentence or big penalty. The judge should impound, and the cruel people are not allowed to adopt any animals. What's the use of revising the law? It's got better to not to revise. Many people still felt hurt from cruel people. Please, the judge have to change the mind about they treat animals as objects. They are not your property. They can feel like people. They are life. The worst point was the animals, the criminals can adopt after killed or hurt animals. Then the animals continue to suffer again. They will be like hell every day. Even so, the animals might wave their tails when the owners come. At least the judge should give the maximum penalty allowed by law. Thank you.
Hi. Have you ever had hard time in your life?
Hard time, many times.
Many times?
Hard time.
For example, like,
As a student,
yeah.
as a worker.
Yeah, actually, I don't mean such like missing a bus in front of your eyes or got low score in your final exam, such like that. Then, shall we a little bit be serious? Have you ever been bullied by people?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes, I have.
Oh. sorry. As you all know, according to these articles, Korea's rate of suicide is most highest in OECD countries, which means most highest in the world. Then why do they kill themselves? Why would they give up their life? I carefully assume they may be suffered by depression. Where the depression comes from? What do you think?
Pressure, stress,
Looks.
looks.
Yeah. All means low self-esteem. Yeah. There's lots of reasons to make someone thinks they're low self-esteem, like bullying, bad friendship, appearance, or rich people, comparing to rich people that I'm poor. Yeah. Then what happened if people keep hide themselves from society? If people keep think themselves they are poor or bad, something such like that. That's why they suffered from depression. Actually, I have to confess. I used to be suffered from depression as well, once upon a time. I was working in a company that I wasn't matched. My boss always blamed me for nothing, so I lose my passion, confidence, and started to make lots of mistakes. So I became very, very dark person in the end. But I'm still here. Yeah, I'm alive. Yeah, once, actually I was thinking to run away from the world, but I overcome. How then? At that time, no one told me to stand up, no one told me to speak myself. I didn't realize that I was hurting myself. But the thing, that time's all the best friend was music for me. I spent lots of nights with the voices whispering, love yourself and hug yourself in my ears. And the voices said, you are born to be loved. So I realized, yeah, I was born to be loved. You were born to be loved, and you as well. Everyone in the world are born to be loved. Can you recognize them? Yeah? It's BTS, my voice. The voices were them. The voices that told me to stand up, to speak myself, love myself, were their songs. Their songs, it's not just about love or hate or something that I'm rich, I'm cool, something like that. They give a message that love yourself. They know how people get hurt themselves in heart, mental, even their body as well. Because they had those hard times as well, and they write their lyrics by themselves, so they know how to give message of love yourself. Yeah, since from their start, they always saying that love yourself, love myself, all kind of love to their fans, to their friends, or even to their haters as well. From these lyrics, I finally found myself, who I am, what I want. May I show you something? Yeah? Can you see my tattoo on my left arm? Yeah. It's like this. This from the time after I realized that who I am. This thing proved that BTS's song has a message and they have power, positive power of their lyrics. Yeah, people like me are still alive and still live like this. There are many people suffering from depression and hard time, trouble. Yeah, I know. But there's always the way to overcome. Don't afraid to be alone. There's always way to take you to bright side. So if you are in a trouble or if you are having really bad time, I hope you to have a time to take a break and put yourself to whatever you want. And love yourself and watch out yourself. Okay. I want you to do something for me to finish this presentation. Okay. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, then when I say love, please say myself. Love?
Myself.
Thank you.